The first deck of the day today that we're going to be doing is a revisit of one that we've done a couple times. It's one of my favorite decks. We built this one when I first started playing this client, and we always kind of come back to it because it's a fun deck. Hopefully it doesn't suck. It doesn't get any better when the new sets come out because not a lot of the new cards go into it. But anyways, this deck is called Blastoconda. Why is it called Blastoconda, Wiggles? Well, Wiggles, I'm glad you asked. Because it is a combination of this Blastoise, the older Blastoise, and Sandaconda VMAX. So, this deck wants to use Blastoise's Vitality Spring to power up all of the bench, including Sandaconda VMAX, including Palkia, and including Blastoise. So, what is the point of this deck? What changes have we made? The point is that we get to play water cards that are very powerful along with fighting cards to cover our electric weakness. This deck has a really good type coverage on itself. There's not a lot that just powers through it kind of deal. Now, there's going to be some tough fights, of course, but nothing should just counter us. Changes we've made since last time. One, I added the new switches. We went, words are hard. I added Lumineon, just some slight tweaking here and there. I made some cuts. We're not playing with VIP passes anymore because that card has fallen out of my preferred things to be playing. But yeah, let's see if it works. Let's see if it's any good and see if the new cards are fun. Ultimately, there's no way we're ever gonna play enough games to know, be able to feel all the differences, but let's just see if it feels good. Blastoconda V2. It's actually like V4 or 5 at this point, but don't tell anybody. I wasn't keeping track of that until recently. Oh, you see that too, Palk? That's right. What's up, geezes? That's right. Oh, and okay, so here's the first opponent, right? Hopefully they're playing something nice and electric. Now riddle me this. Why is it there are resistances in the card game and none of them are ground resisting electric? An actual immunity in Pokemon lore, but there's no resistance. Riddle me that one, y'all. Oh, the second deck we're going to be playing today is actually a deck that, Geezus and me were all working on. I did not get to work on it the entire time, but we were all working on it, and it seems quite fun. It's a Chestnut deck, and I'm going to call it Chestnaude. You're honestly sticking with Giant Powbacks Palkia? You know, you're not wrong, Beans. It's a really good combo, those three cards. It's an electric deck. Now, the problem is we went second, so we don't get to get this Path to Peak down before they throw down their Miraidon, which they're about to throw down, which will help them power up. It's a little late, which is a shame. It's a shame. We could have had them really bad here, but we went second. Lost coin flip, but that doesn't mean we've lost the game. It just means we have a harder game ahead of us. It's a messaging post. That's alright. It's a constant process. And see, we missed our window, so now everything's gonna go out. If we're lucky they don't have the energy to retreat this, they discarded an energy already, which means they probably do. They only found one thing. That's just funny. And this kind of shows how toxic this card's gotten, right? The fact that people are playing this when it literally stuffs them is wild. Okay, so let's do Arven here. I took the VIP passes out, which normally we would want to grab a VIP pass here. Are all of my Nest Balls prize carded? That is crazy unlucky. I know there are Nest Balls in this deck. That is really unlucky. Yikes. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and grab an Ultra Ball here, I guess. We already have the Rare Candy. We can ditch these two. Because we don't need the Path to the Peak anymore. Now, Palkia is going to do a whole lot less, and so is Lumineon with Path to the Peak out. You know, and because we're playing Path to the Peak, the Lumineon's actually a really bad addition to this deck, and I should not do that. But let's grab a Squirtle. Alright, best we got. See if it's good enough. Maybe they can't do anything either. Okay, well they have the Flaffy in hand, so they can get one energy onto a benched Pokemon. The Judge is a little brutal. I liked our last cards. It's going to be rare that we get a Blastoise and a Rare Candy. However, we did, so it's fine. I take it all back. Okay, them nest balling for Greninja when their path to the peak is out is kind of funny. Did they get a switch? If they didn't get a switch, we're pretty set here. Path actually seems playable in Shaipo. That's fair. I mean, the thing is, Path to the Peak's playable in every deck, right? That's why every deck's playing it. It's just a matter of how useful is it by the time it's useful for you? You know what I mean? Okay, so let's use Irida here. We need to grab a Rare Candy and a Palkia. Okay, we're gonna put this this EXP share on the Palkia. That there. Let's use Vitality Spring. Now, see, we wouldn't be able to attack, but we can do this, and this is pretty powerful. Okay. And just like that, we thinned our deck and did all of our stuff. Exactly. It's how deep into your resources have you gotten? It's how useful is it gonna be? Is it gonna be stopping anything? Like against their deck, Path to the Peak is only valuable first turn. Because after they have this, like there's nothing we're gonna do to keep up anymore. Oh, what a draw. What a draw. Oh, let's do that. Come here, you. That was like the best draw on the deck, and it is not close. Dang. And this is why we play Sandaconda in this deck. Because electric can just ruin our day sometimes. Now they do have the Flaffy, right? Which means they're going to get to pull 1 energy back per turn, but we're kind of set to do our thing in the meantime. Okay, second Mareep means they're going to be able to do 2. They can't have a Flaffy here yet, so it's not that big of a deal. And we're going to be getting through some of their issues in the meantime. Yeah, they're too far behind at this point. That was really, really, really lucky on our part. Let's be honest. The deck was made to be able to be that lucky, but we also got that lucky. So, woo! Yay! Cumulative variance builds up from the get-go. And back in we go. Oh, right. We need to cut the Lumineon. It's not a good look with a Path to the Peak. Now, if they got rid of Path to the Peak, then we could play our Lumineon, or if it was like first turn, we could play it, use it, and then play Path to the Peak, but that starts to be really, really narrow. Between Path to the Peak shuts off 2 of our cards, I feel like that's too much for me personally. Now, obviously, that's not a problem for some decks, like our opponent's deck, but for our deck, I don't know. We want both of those effects when we need them, and not being able to use them seems problematic, so we might want to put something else in the deck, if we can think of anything else that would be a better fit there. That's, you know, it's like, why would we be doing that? Don't you mean, you're right, Dark Trainer, yeehaw! If, you know, all joking aside, for the yeehaws, we used to have a family ranch, and, going out on the ranch and giving a big yeehaw, like, as loud as you can, it is cathartic. There is something magical about that. Nice job, Giza. Start with a Chikorita. That's a good one. That's a good one. What is the easiest way to get started with this game? The game gives you a few basic decks to start with, and some of them are actually pretty good. We don't know what they're doing, so we're going to start with Sandaconda. This is our wall. This is the purpose here. Rats, the Charizard deck that they give you. Okay, Arceus first. The Arcanine deck. There's a few good ones. But yeah, mostly just play. Just fart around. Build up your credits slowly. As best you can kind of deal here. Okay, so let's Nest Ball here. Get another Sandaconda, because Sandaconda is also super effective against Arceus. We're going to kind of lean into that here. Next turn, Irida, if they don't shuffle our hand, next turn Irida gets us a Rare Candy and a Blastoise, which means we are off to the races. Just post the deck list of the edits? Nice. Staying up till 7 a.m. is pretty wild. Yeah, Beans has a good point. Is it recommended to splurge on packs if able to get decks you like that you are playing? So, yes and no. The splurging on packs, let me have this turn and then I'll answer that question here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we're gonna get a Rare Candy and a Blastoise. So the we need what, one of those and several of these. All right, we'll do that. One of that there, one of that there, and put 4 of those there. I'm glad you like that, opponent. So splurging on packs will give you some cards, but this game client has one of the best systems of credits. So whatever packs you get, I recommend getting the same pack, right? Like, because as you start to build up and you have 4 of a card, you'll get credits. You'll get part of the value of that card in-game credits, which are at the top right of the screen. Excuse me one second. And that's a good way to put it. When you like to gamble, do it. But so as you fill up one of the sets, you'll start to get more credits every pack you open, and the credits will enable you to buy what you want to buy. So the best ones are the most expensive ones, which are celebrations. Celebration packs are mostly rare cards, so after you get 4 of everything, you start to get a lot of credits really fast. But most of the celebration cards are not super playable, so it's kind of a risky thing here. There's, if you have actual money to spend, you can't put money into this client, but you can put pack codes that you get out of physical packs, and you can buy the pack codes in bulk really cheap from most card websites. The card traders, TCG traders, stuff like that. The Pokemon Go set's also pretty good. That's a good point, Dark Trainer. And the Pokemon in that set are actually probably a little bit better than the Celebrations overall. Celebrations has, you know, Flying Pikachu and Surfing Pikachu, and Flying Pikachu is awesome, but most of the cards in Celebration aren't that good. Because we got new people here and asking about cards and packs and stuff, let's do a giveaway. Exclamation point ticket if you would like a chance to win a pack code for the new set. Currently new set. Okay. Now this isn't ideal. Dark Trainer, thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. I know really little about playing Pokemon in general, so just trying to have playable decks and understand synergies to decks, etc. is mostly what I'm trying to see. I gotcha. So in that case, definitely start with like the Palkia, or the Chine-Pao, or the Arcanine decks, and just play it. Just play it. Rats, thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Okay, we went first, so we can't even use Arven this turn. Next turn, we will get to attack with Sandaconda VMAX. If they don't evolve this Staryu, we're gonna get to give it the old smashy dashy, because that's a lot of damage. Okay, they're a Masquerada deck. New plan. We're gonna try for a boss's orders and give Sprigatito the smash. But yeah. And that Vast also has an exploit. What's up, Vast? How you doing, my friend? When you get 600 crystals, buy the battle pass, because the battle pass is you can only buy it for crystals. Buy the base one, just do your dailies, and you'll finish it with a lot of room to spare, and that is a lot of packs in there. It's all of the new packs, and if you have the battle pass like you get it with crystals, you get a lot of old packs as well. So you start to build up your collection pretty fast that way. Yeah, this is not the best starting hand here, but we're gonna do our best. And let's see what they grab. If they grab something that evolves, like if they... hopefully they don't going for the Meowscarada here, because we can't kill both of them. Okay, they went with Starmie. Let's punish that a little bit, you know what I mean? Sure thing, Hugh. Appreciate you. I currently have no sponsors, but I would take one. Okay, and luckily we don't even have to try to boss's orders. Exactly, Rats. You'll learn what decks are good just by playing, because at this point, most people are just running the good decks. You won't have those cards necessarily, but you'll have some of them, and by learning what's good, you'll also learn what you like. You don't know what I mean about punishing stars? So they messed up. You cannot evolve a Pokemon the turn you play it, with a few exceptions. They used a supporter card to grab a Starmie, and they only have this one Staryu. So if we knock out this Staryu, they have a dead card in hand. They can't play it. You're not a fan of Shiner. I guess everyone's allowed to be wrong about something. Yeah, we're still going to do this to see if we get anything better. We didn't hit anything at all, so, you know, we're going to use Arven. We're going to Nest Ball here. Get our Pot Helmet. The Nest Ball's for a Palkia. Should I get a Squirtle? Let's get a Palkia. We're not going to look like a Blastoise deck to our opponent, but we will know the truth, chat. We'll know the truth. No point in playing. I guess we should play this out here, because this no longer has an... Oh, wait, this is about rule boxes. Yeah, it's rule boxes. So never mind, we're not going to play that out. And let's take out the Staryu. And also do some damage across the board here, except for the Bidoof. It's got a little ability that prevents that from being a problem. You're wrong about a lot. You know, that's fair. That's fair. That's a really good draw. That's a really good draw. Okay, so they're probably going to evolve this, I would imagine, just because they put this one out front despite it having a little bit of damage. And we are weak to that. So, uh-oh, here comes the pain. Now, the good news is if they cannot also give us damage, this is only going to do 200 damage, which is a lot. It's a lot. Only 200. Uh-oh. You want to challenge this deck? Who? All right, we'll see you after this game. Please DM me on Discord or on Twitch your trainer code. We're still set to have a pretty solid turn after this. It kind of depends on how lucky we get with this Professor's Research. Unfortunately, if we don't start with a Squirtle and have the Blastoise by turn 2, it's not really viable for us to take a turn off. That's the downside of Blastoise's ability, Vitality Spring, is that it ends your turn to use it. So you have to take a turn off from attacking. So, like, in this point, we can't really do that. We would just lose. So, luckily, we don't really need to, but we kind of wanted to. If they have another Meowscarada, we are just kind of out. It's going to be a lot of resources to get through this one. And ultimately, this game is resource management, which is neat on like a deeper level of how it works. Okay, so they are going to get the other Meowscarada out here. Oh, okay, they're going for the Bibarel. That makes more sense, I guess, because then they get to draw more cards regularly. Are we dead yet? The good news is they're not also playing Radiant Alakazam. You can only have one Radiant Pokemon in your deck. And they chose Radiant Greninja. Okay, so they are also going to get the Meowscarada. Now, we are pretty dead here. Luckily, we're not dead yet, but this is also worth 3 prize cards, so we're in a bad spot. I think it's going to behoove us to hit this one. I know we're going to lose our Sandaconda by doing that, but I think that's the right call. I also should not have played that energy yet. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I probably should have waited here. Because, yeah, if we draw another one, then it's too late to play it, unfortunately. Does this game follow Basic? Yes, it does. In fact, you cannot, like I said earlier, you can't spend money in this client. I think we lose, y'all. Because I needed to put that energy here in order to get this up to 200 so that we could maybe do something with Palkia next turn, but I think we have lost. We're also going to play everything out of our hand here just because of Palkia. We want to be able to do that next turn. So, unfortunate. I think we might have lost. I messed up. Same time, this might also be enough damage. Probably not. Not the one we made with edits. That's the only request, because I'm going to be streaming that one later. So, not Chestnut. So yes, to answer your question fully, Rats, this game does follow the expansions that come out along with all the rule changes that come out in the physical card game, because this is just an extension of that. Some games like Magic Arena are their own thing along with Paper Magic. This is not one of them. This is just an extension of Pokemon TCG. Okay. The fact that they also had the double colorless, we're probably dead here. So like I said during the initial part of this deck, we don't have any big weaknesses because we cover our electric weakness, but grass is something that we actually don't have a strength to. We're weak to it with Sandaconda. Luckily, this is a card game, and the water is not weak to the grass, even though it should be. It's weak to electric, but we don't have a strength against grass. Not like Hearthstone, which I play a lot of, which is correct. I'm happy to answer questions, Rats. That's like one of my favorite things to do is interact with people and answer questions. So please ask away. Don't ever feel like you're not allowed to ask a question. And if I miss it or if I can't answer, someone in chat will probably answer. We got a very helpful community here. Why have the Squirtle? What did the little Squirtle ever do to you, you monster? That's a lot of damage. And it's dead now. And I think we lose. Bad timing there, Blastoise. We can use Star Portal to get 1 energy out of the bin, which will enable us... We're going to because we're going to lose anyways, and we might as well try and be as efficient as possible here. Put that there. It is enough. I mean, we get to knock out a Meowscarada. That's not nothing. The problem is this other Meowscarada gets to knock... Maybe not because of the double turbo. It depends on what they do with their bouquet. So maybe not. Yes, Rats, yes. So if you look, that's what's called a rule box. So it says, right down here, it says VMAX rule. When your Pokemon VMAX is knocked out, the opponent takes 3 prize cards. You'll also see on regular V cards, it says the V rule, they get 2 prize cards. So that's important because this cares. Some cards will say if it has a rule box or not, that's a rule box. It's not the only kind of rule box. This is also Radiant Pokemon rules, so just keep your eyes peeled for anything that says a rule. That does affect some things. And I would love that, more than I could ever describe. Here's hoping. The next goal, though, is from I'm going to try to get a capture card for my computer so we can play some Switch games on the computer, on stream. That'd be pretty fun, right? Now, because of Starmie, I'm pretty sure that we lose, because they could currently do 200 damage to Palkia, which is just enough to knock it out, so never mind, it's because of that we lose. Okay. Yeah, this was a typing problem here. Their deck's pretty solid. I like the idea of Starmie and Meowscarada together. Because Starmie's one of the few things that can actually put damage counters on the front Pokemon. As far as I'm aware, it's Starmie and Inteleon that don't require, like, energy and stuff to do. I think? Yeah, I think pretty confident in that. Goodbye, Palkia. You were very brave. And you fought very well. Sandaconda, I choose you. Go die with honor. Alright, we'll just concede here. We have lost. Shame. So one of the downsides of this deck, and this is actually... Let's approach the deck building side of this a little bit. There's too many energies. When I originally built this deck, it was 18 energies because you needed them all. Now that we have Palkia to pull energies out of the bin, I don't think we need those as much. So let's take a look and see what changes we want to make here. Let's go down to 7 of each. Again, we're going to cut the Lumineon. How many basics are we at? That's 4, 6, 9. 9's a little low. Just a little bit. What would we put here? Just a Ditto? Blastoise answers our Mimikyu question, so we don't have to worry about the Mimikyu problem. Let's just try a Ditto. Let's put a 1 of Ditto in here as just some round out, have a 10 basics kind of thing. And then we get 2 more supporters, or 2 more cards. Let's do another Nest Ball to go up to 3 there. Since we don't have any more VIP passes, that seems like a pretty good idea. One more thing. Let's do a 3rd boss's orders. Actually, let's do a... yeah, I like the 3rd boss's orders more than the 3rd Pokégear. Alright, back to... Hi, Milky Way! How's it going, my friend? And we did the thing! Woo! Woo! Crystals! Precious crystals. Rats, also, before I forget, this is the last 2 weeks of this Battle Pass, so I actually don't recommend spending the crystals on this Battle Pass if you have it right now. If you've already done that, my apologies for not saying this earlier, it's just going to be really hard to finish the Battle Pass in 2 weeks. And if you do the Battle Pass, you will get, I think it's 550 crystals back, so if you finish the whole thing, you'll actually get most of your investment. I'm doing pretty good. Tired and getting near my sad part of year, but we're doing pretty good. How about you, my friend? Oh, and I trimmed my beard, which always makes me feel way prettier. We have so many people that didn't used to watch back when I played other non-Pokemon games. Did y'all ever see me with the full beard? I need to get a good picture of the full beard. Oh my god, I forgot, Hugh. I forgot. I am the worst streamer. I am so sorry. We're gonna concede here and go play against who? That's my bad. That is, I could never have guessed that name. When would be the best time to join? It would be right after. So in 2 weeks, it says 2 weeks, we're gonna get the next set. That would be the best one to join. No, that's fine. I mean, that's one of the reasons we play casual here, not competitive, so it doesn't really matter. If we need to concede, we need to concede. Friend request away! I like the spelling. Zubats, thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. And that's excellent spelling. So the other reason that it's really good to start this right as the new set drops is because they always give a couple of decks with the new sets of like, here's some of the new cards, and sometimes they're really good. The one that came out with the last set was the Charizard deck, and that Charizard deck's really good. Plus, everybody's playing the new stuff, so you don't have to worry about anybody just like, I'm playing nothing but meta, craw. There will still be some of that. Did you friend me, who? Waiting on a deck for or a challenge from a viewer. You did? All right, sweet. Ah, there it is. Has the challenge been received? Client's a little sluggish sometimes, like a slugma. So, honest question, y'all. If Pokemon World was real, obviously everybody wouldn't be either 10 or an adult. There would be some teenagers in there. Would there be a Slugma joke? Like Sugma, you know, that kind of joke? It really is, yes. It is, like, identical. There are some occasional issues. During a couple of seasons ago, or a couple of battle passes ago, there was a bug. So they had to ban certain cards because the client would not play them well. It would crash the client. And so in that case, it's not identical because obviously that there wasn't crashing a real physical game. But for the most part, yeah, it goes side to side. In our synchronous symmetry, words are hard. All right, we won the coin flip. So we're up against who? Let's see who's playing. Grass sleeve doesn't tell us much, but probably can assume. Okay, starting with the Ditto is actually really solid here. We have a Sandaconda, and they played two. So we're actually gonna punish this a little bit because I firmly believe that unless they're the same card, you should not play more than one on the first turn because we can't attack. Okay, they're the same card, so it doesn't matter. But we will be. And we got the Nest Ball too. 2 Nest Balls at that. Okay, so let's grab a Palkia. Let's grab a Squirtle. Let's play Ditto here. Escape rope. It doesn't matter, but we're going to do it anyways. And let's see here. Let's grab another. So grass means we don't really want to be relying on our Sandacondas too much. So let's grab another Squirtle here. We have that backup plan. I don't think we have to worry about our Squirtle dying here. I think we should be okay. Should be okay. What does this deck do? This deck utilizes Blastoise from the Pokemon Go set to power up all of our stuff really quickly, and it utilizes Sandaconda to have a bit of a wall. It doesn't work against grass type, but to have a bit of a wall as well as some type coverage. Okay, so Gardenia, when Gardenia only hits 1 energy, it's way better for us. So that is beneficial here. Okay, burning a Switch and an EXP share. I'm assuming this is for a Cricketune? Yeah! I'm not a grass type, Icy. I'm a ground type. If there was one of those quizzes, like, what's your type of Pokemon? We'd be a ground type. Like, full stop. Okay. Drawing the Blastoise is great. This means this could also hit an Irida or an Arven. We did hit Irida anyways, so that's pretty cool for us. So what we're going to do here is we are going to get a Palkia VSTAR and a Rare Candy. We're going to play this energy out here while we can. Let's evolve that bad boy. We Rare Candy the Blastoise on here. That was really clean. Anytime you can empty your hand out and still do something, that's a good turn. Wait, we already have one of those. Let's just grab, right? I already have one of those down. Okay, sweet. Now, we're going to put one of these here. We're not going to invest too much over here for now, just because, again, we have a type disadvantage there. So let's just put these in there and call that square. Now, Path to the Peak is one of those cards, Rats, that I was talking about, where it says this cares about rule box. So this says Pokemon with a rule box in play have no abilities. So our Palkia, our Sandaconda, if they evolve the Superior into a Superior VSTAR, this is why it's great to play our hand out, because now we just got card draw from that. Okay, Irida, I was hoping for a boss's orders here. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. Irida's not bad, though. So let's put the Pot Helmet on Blastoise so the Blastoise can soak even more damage. We're going to use our Nest Ball now. Probably just get another Palkia here. There's nothing I really want with Irida, but we want to use a supporter if we can, so let me think here. Because again, we don't really want to power our hand up or get a bunch of stuff that we can't use and then have to ditch it if we know they're playing Judge, right? Let's hold off on the Irida for now. If that was a boss's orders, we could have one-shot this Superior. Taking out a Cricketot's not a bad thing, though. Rare Candy's fine. The Palkia has a red down arrow on it. What that means is status effect, and if you click on that, it says this Pokemon cannot use ability. So it's just showing us that there is something that's affecting the Palkia. What's up, sheep? Okay, Iono's fine. Again, we're going to lose some cards. We didn't really need those, and I'm really glad we didn't use that Irida, because we would have just had to ditch whatever we got. Okay. Okay. Superior VSTAR is a little scary, because I believe that means if they Starwinder here, we lose our Blastoise. We should be able to soak a Regal Blender because of the Pot Helmet, because Pot Helmet's 30, I think. So if we right-click and scroll over here, we can see it. It is 30. So we can soak a Regal Blender, which is nice. That's all we could soak, so it's not too nice. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but, you know, if they use Starwinder, that's the VSTAR power out of the way, which is good for us. Okay, so that is Starwinder. It also didn't knock us out. So they used their VSTAR power and it didn't knock us out. But this way they get to keep their Superior safe. And we actually kind of get to do the same thing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this, and we're actually going to ditch this Irida, but first we're going to save that. Okay, and we're going to Professor's Research. Now, I know we're weak to this, but this way we can not show our Blastoise here. I'm not going to play the Sandaconda VMAX out because doing 20 extra damage to them doesn't do anything. They have a way to heal, and that's worth 3 prize cards, which might make the difference. It didn't knock us out. I'll show you the math in just a second. But first, hang on. Make sure we play everything out. We're going to play everything out because Palkia cares about how many things are on the bench. Okay, and we're going to crush this Cricketot. So, the templating on this does 60 damage. Oh, hang on. The other thing we're not going to play. This does 60 damage for each energy card attached to this Pokemon. So it had 3. So it was supposed to do 180 damage. But because Blastoise has this Pot Helmet attached to it, it takes 30 less, so it only did 150. And yes, you can only use a VSTAR move once in a game. There are some cards that count as VSTAR moves. The one that you'll see a lot of is the Forest Sealstone. So that gives a Pokemon a VSTAR move. Now see, that hurts a lot. We just got a bunch of damage on us, and they're going to shuffle some energies around. This is actually fine, though, because of this boss's orders. We're about to mess with who, and they're going to have not as much fun. Okay, undoing that a little bit. Smart. They don't want us to over... Okay, so they're undoing it. They have changed their mind completely. Which is fine. We're just going to knock out whatever has all the energy on it, because we can. Which one has the EXP share? Oh, it's this one? I guess we'll put it there just because it's better than losing that energy entirely, but we don't really need it there. Okay, so they're going to get 2 prize cards. Again, we were smart and didn't give them 3. Okay. So we can currently only do 220. It's not quite enough to be worth it. So we could do up to 240, which is probably smart. Let's use Arven this turn to get another basic Pokemon for the bench. We're pretty low on cards in our deck. There might not be any more basic Pokemon, actually. I think there's one more Sandaconda, though. Okay, there were 2. It's probably the other Palkia, if we're being honest, but do I care more about that, or... Yeah, I think we care more about this than having another Sandaconda out. 20 more damage isn't going to be that much. It's not probably going to make the difference. It might. But this way we get to have a backup plan even more ready to go here. Now is where things get different. You're welcome. I thought after your attack was done, your turn was, how are they able to shuffle energy? So that is actually part of this card. It says you may move any amount of energy from your Pokemon to your other Pokemon in any way you like. So that's just that move. Okay. Would you add Palkia to the Blastoconda deck? That was the note I had made the last time we played it to try it, but I didn't actually try it, I don't think. So, yeah. Okay. Now, do they do it or not? At this point, I believe they're going to. Okay. Smart. They're diversifying. Because if they had only put this on one, it was going to be easy which one we do. We also got our hand shuffled, which is a little bit sad, but not the end of the world here. We couldn't boss his orders anyway at this point. It's a bit risky, so let's see here. Before, we're going to ditch this card anyways, so we might as well do this. It doesn't matter what we pick, we're going to be using Professor's Research, but let's go fill our bench up. Now, we are running out of cards in our deck, so we probably want to stop card draw at this point. One thing that is very, very nice, because we're playing with the EXP share, we don't have to worry about using our ability here. And if they don't shuffle our hands here, I think, why do I have Pat to Peak if it stops our... Because it is more effective to stop our opponent's Pokemon than our own Pokemon. It does more against a Charizard deck than it does to us. All it stops for us is Star Portal and Wall of Sand. And, like, we're working around the Star Portal being stopped right now. When this dies, we're going to get to put the energy down here on this one. Now, one thing that we have going for us that's very nice, even if they knock us out here, unless they evolve this Superior, we can boss his orders and win the game. Not Blastoise. It does not. Blastoise doesn't have a rule box, and Path to the Peak only stops things that have a rule box from having an ability. Okay, I think we win. The math is going to be a little tough here, but I think we win. Maybe not, because they didn't play anything else out. But we might. Oh, wait, we did because of the Sandaconda. I think we win. I think. Let's see. Math is for suckers, so we're going to make the computer do it for us. Is it 2? Oh, we win. Nice. Giovanni says, I have a quick question for you. Goodbye. GG who? GG who? That was a good game. That was a good game. Good match, buddy. Good match. Thank you for the game. I appreciate it, my friend. Superior is a scary card. Play this game more if it didn't require me math. You don't mood, sheep. That's a whole mood right there. What's up, Energy? How's it going, my friend? Alright, back into the pits. We've had a nice game amongst gentlefolk. Thank you! Thank you for the challenge. I appreciate you. I like your deck. I feel like we just got really lucky there by having that boss's orders at the end, I'll be honest. You got it, Sheep. We'll get that changed after this. If I remember, which I'm gonna try. I'm gonna look at this coin. Remember the coin, Wiggles. Remember the Dawn Jammer. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Charmander coin, if there is one, you got it. Thank you, Icy, for pinning that. I'm still gonna forget. No, I'm not. I'm gonna remember. Huh? What's that? You're weak to ground? Uh-oh. Oh, it doesn't matter. We can't do a ground attack on the first turn. That's problematic. We need to try and get rid of this. We don't have any other basic Pokemon. Gapejaw Bog is the only reason, in my opinion, that you would want to play multiple cards out on your first turn. Chips told me if you forget, your snacks become mine. I seriously doubt that. Is there any way for a player to remove path? Yes, Rats. You can either play your own stadium, or there are some, words are hard. There are some Pokemon that do it. Like Lugia's got remove a stadium as a part of an attack. Hang on one second. Let me take this turn and then I will answer that question fully. 1 second, please. So this does get us around Gapejaw, which is really, really nice. Because Gapejaw says when you play it from your hand, and Nest Ball says we're not playing it from our hand, we're playing it from our deck. So that part is nice. We can just kind of sneak around all that. That was a really good turn. Next turn, we're just going to evolve Palkia and play Professor's Research. Exactly. So there's items that'll do it. The Lost Vacuum is the one that comes to mind. It's the best item for removing a stadium. And there are some supporters like Worker that says draw 3 cards and remove a stadium in place. So there are ways to interact with it, but they're difficult. Stadiums are one of the best ways to like have a hate card to like stop somebody from doing something like Path to the Peak. The reason they're playing Gapejaw is because Zoroark V evolves into Zoroark VSTAR, which has a move that says this does 50 damage for each of your Pokemon that have any damage counters on them. So they're actually doing this to give their own stuff damage, not our stuff. That's like a happy coincidence that it works that way. I'm really curious what their build is, though, because Hisuian Zoroark V is actually missing some of the cards that made it really good a long time ago. They are no longer standard legal. They're expanded now, so the biggest one for that is Quick Ball, because Quick Ball says discard 1 card from your hand and pull up a basic Pokemon to your hand. Exactly. Pidgeot EX's attack is an option to remove a save. Dawn Jammer brings up an excellent point. What exactly does that card do? So this says for no energy, you can do 30 damage and switch it with one of your bench Pokemon, or for 3 energy, you can move an energy from it to one of your other Pokemon. Oh, this is tough. I think it's Palkia here. It's weird to say that because Palkia has the EXP share, and you typically want that on your bench Pokemon, but we don't want to feed them the Squirtle, and there's a good chance they're going to hit it. It would only do 10 damage because the double colorless, the double turbo says they do 20 less damage, but there's also a chance they play something else out, and I don't really want to risk my Squirtle over that. There's a good chance we're going to get a Blastoise and a Rare Candy when we Professor's Research. Okay. So the Gengar is a big part of their strategy, because Gengar says, on your turn, you may put this out of the discard pile onto the bench and put 3 damage counters, which, as we discussed, they really want to have damage counters on their Pokemon. Okay, Klefki's not super scary because this has to be up front to actually be a problem. And if it is, like, we're sitting pretty. If that's up front, we're fine. We'll deal with something else. Okay, so here's the Zoroark V-Star. So this says this attack does 50 damage for each of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. And you can discard your hand to draw a bunch of cards. So right now, it's going to do 100 damage. I am really glad we didn't put the Squirtle out there. It's technically going to do 80 damage because it's got the double colorless, but now it's going to do 130 damage because the math has changed. Now they have 3 things with damage counter, so it's 150 minus 20. Squirtle would have just gotten obliterated. Luckily, Squirtle did not get obliterated. We planned for that eventuality. Okay. That's a kind of a shame. I didn't really want to draw that this turn. I was hoping for just an energy, because now we're less likely to hit a Rare Candy and a Blastoise. Yeah, see, we didn't. We did hit an Irida, so we could do it next turn. But for now... Oh, yeah, right in the Gapejaw is going to cause some damage here. It feels like we're pretty far behind at this point. Not much to say about that. Except we're going to save our Palkia here. You know, I probably should have put the other Sandaconda out front because this has a water energy on it, so if they had knocked that out, we would have gotten to put that on the Palkia and had a response. So that was a missequencing on my part. So Path would not help them correct because their Pokemon abilities. So their Pokemon, these two don't, right? Path to the Peak would not stop these two, but it would stop this ability. And this is the one they really care about because this is a free professor's research that they can just do once a game. So Path to the Peak would have been nice, not required, but the biggest reason that we kind of wanted to draw Path to the Peak there was to take away the Gape Jaw. Because as of right now, anything they play is going to be plus 50 damage to their attack just by virtue of having this stadium out. We played a version of this deck, it's on YouTube if you want to see it, and that was kind of the conclusion we came to. If you have Gape Jaw, this deck is great. If you don't, it's really hard. But they do, so I think we're going to lose. We had a chance to dig out of it, but I don't know if it's going to happen now. And if I had put the other Sandaconda, we'd be in a better spot too. So missequencing upon missequencing. It didn't end up mattering. They're just going to boss this order, so we weren't punished for our missequencing. Can you play a stadium? So playing a stadium removes the other one. So yes to both questions, if that makes any sense. Well... I mean, we've got a shot here because of the Irida, technically. We're not out yet. If they have another boss's orders, though, we are. What we're going to do is we are going to grab Blastoise because we already have the Rare Candy in hand. I guess we will also grab a Pokégear for next turn. We're just really hoping they don't have another boss's orders here. If they have another boss's orders, we lose. If they don't, we might not. And this Squirtle is only worth one prize card, so we're feeding him that. Now, the unfortunate part here is that we don't have 4 water energies to put on Blastoise, because one of them is on this, where we're kind of suffering for our choices in energy here. Well, I guess we do. I should have put that fighting energy on the Sandaconda here, so I just messed up again. You're going to see that a lot if you hang out on this channel. But hey, it's fine to make mistakes, especially if you call it out when you do. Like me, I'm trying to point out my mistakes so that I have that little voice in my head next time being like, hey, wait, remember, we messed this up before. Now, they can't use the VSTAR move again, despite having another Zoroark VSTAR, but if they have one more energy... Ooh. What is that? That's the Psychic Glove, right? Oh, this is the Dark one. Okay, so that doesn't affect us at all. That just lets them do more damage to Dark Pokemon. We don't have any Dark Pokemon. Welcome back, Beans! Okay, they ditched an Iono for this because Iono would be less cards for them and more cards for us. That's one of the reasons I don't like that card. I prefer Judge myself. Iono is just way too hit or miss depending on what time of the game. Okay, so they're also a Bibarel deck. Hey, they had another Iono. Okay. Again, I don't really like Iono here because it helps us more than it helps them, but... what do I know? And we drew another fighting energy, so it actually ended up being kind of perfect here, how we did that. Now, luckily, them getting a Tails means that they do not get a Bibarel right now. They can get another Bidoof if they want, or another Basic, but they can't have a Bibarel, which is good for us. This Squirtle's gonna die. We have a shot here to do some damage in response. Alakazam's a little eh. A little eh. For instance, this Sandaconda does one-shot Zoroark. And they already played their supporter card, so we know they're not going to boss his orders us here. And if they escape rope, they don't have anything ready to attack us either. So we should be okay. Obviously, we does not include this Squirtle. This Squirtle is probably dead. Your turn was going so good. Top deck VIP pass had every damn on you. Fat fingers tapped. Oh no! Oh, Beans, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. Rip. Pour one out for the homies. We're gonna fill our bench up here. I hate the Gape Jaw. Still haven't drawn a Path to the Peak. There are 4 in our deck, and I don't think we've drawn any of them yet. So that's just really unfortunate, because there's only 26 cards we haven't seen yet. Okay, so let's grab a Sandaconda that way. We're going to put another Palkia down because we haven't used our VSTAR move, so if we get the other Palkia VSTAR out of our deck, we can use that move to get our energies back and kind of regas ourselves here. Okay, and we get to take out the Zoroark VSTAR. That's pretty nice. That was pretty powerful. They haven't played another double colorless either, so this one's not ready yet. It's only one energy away from being ready, but they would need that energy. Irida's solid. How many Ultra Balls are we through? Whoops. Clicking around too fast, Wiggles. Clicking around too fast. Okay, so we could use Irida to get the Palkia VSTAR and an Ultra Ball here, and the Ultra Ball would help us evolve our Sandaconda, which would be lovely. So I killed that because this card is weak to fighting. So any Pokemon that is this type does double damage to it. So it's only 100 damage, or 140 damage, but it's doubled. So that's playing to type advantages. Okay, they did have another double colorless. Honestly, right now, if we pulled a boss's orders, how many of those are still in the deck? There are still 3 of those in the deck. If we pulled a boss's orders here, we would be thrilled. Yeah. Type advantages are important. They're one of the reasons that dragon Pokemon are so good in this, because dragons don't have a weakness. They don't have a resistance either, but most things don't have a resistance. So not having a weakness is a big deal. Yikes. Okay, what do they pick here? They pick the Squirtle. Okay. Interesting choice. They're going for another prize card, which does put them only 1 prize card out. Now, that's actually fine for us, because that means the Blastoconda VMAX that's worth 3 prize cards has no downside anymore. Now it's only worth, or the Sandaconda VMAX, now it's only worth 2 prize cards. And this is very far outside of the range of what they... it's actually not. Never mind. Okay. Trying to think here. Do we try to draw for a boss's orders? I don't think we can. I'm looking here and I'm not seeing a way for us to get there. So let's just do what we were planning on doing. Grab the Palkia VSTAR. And at this point, we're going to grab a Pokégear because a boss's orders at the right time would probably win this game for us. We were going to grab an Ultra Ball, but we didn't end up beating it because we top decked what we wanted. Okay, and let's do 150. Now, see, this card resists fighting, but it says minus 30, so it only resists 30 damage. So we were going to do 180, we did 150, it was still enough. Now, the downside, of course, they can just bring that Gengar back. I think this might be enough to knock us out here, because it's 280. No, it's not, actually. We don't have enough to knock them out either, and they have, of course, they have the Bibarel in hand, so they get all their card draw right there. Yikes. Okay, okay. We're pretty parity on cards, though. Like, we've both seen most of our deck. We have not been able to interact with this Gapejaw, and it's going to cost us the game. It's just unfortunate. Like, we just didn't draw what we needed. It might behoove us to play 1 or 2 Lost Vacuums in this deck, because Irida and Arven could both fish up the Lost Vacuum. There are very few things in this game that fish up stadiums. Imagine 4-pet, right? I would not be surprised here. We had 3 Nest Balls as prizes for one of the previous games. And they have another double colorless, so I don't see us winning at this point. Is that enough? Oh my god, that's enough. Well played, opponent. That was nice. And that was, again, they wouldn't have been able to do this Alakazam if Path of the Peak was out. We just got really, really unlucky there, y'all. And that happens, and that's okay. There are ways to check prize cards. There's ways to insulate against anything. We just didn't do it, right? So, this is a good game, opponent. Good game. We'll get them on the next one. Which, oh my god, I never pulled the giveaway. That has been going for 42 minutes. And I also need to do the coin for Charmander. Hang on. Lots of things Wiggles needs to keep up with. 1 second. I'm a little stupid, y'all. Okay, there's the Charmander coin. Do we own any, though? Do we already own any Charmander coins? Is there any other Charmander coins? Is there anything... There are not. Alright, Charmander coin it is. There we go. Boom. Boom. And Vast, congratulations. Oh, I pulled it twice. All right, so in that case, Darth Trainer and Vast, y'all both won. Well done, y'all. Let me get y'all those codes. 1 second, please. Hang on 1 second here. Weird. All right, so first we got Vast. Sorry for the delay, y'all. I'll be right back to more games in just a second here. I can find you. There you are. Can y'all tell I didn't stream for a couple days? Because I've already forgotten how to do everything. Boom. You're the other 33%. Yeah, you know what? You know what? You're right. You're right. Here you go, buddy. Enjoy the code, my friend. All right. Rats, thank you for the sub. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you supporting my dream. Wouldn't be here without you. All right, back in we go. Oh, I see why you wanted the Charmander coin, Sheep, and I gotta say, it looks fantastic. Excellent, excellent choice. Starters. Welcome, Rats. Glad to have you, friend. Notice Charmander's the only one facing the other direction. Notice that because I noticed it and it weirds me out now that I pointed it out. Aww. Sheep over there with your dolphin style. Hype cool. Okay, we lost the coin flip, so this Charmander coin is already on our shit list, let's be honest. Just kidding. It's not the coin's fault. Ish. This would be a really good hand if there was a basic Pokemon in it. So close. So close. At least we only had them all once. A very similar hand. Yay! Now, if they're going first, which I don't remember who's going first. Okay, sweet. Sweet Palkia. Check out my Palkia. Also, no, none of your Chine Pow shenanigans. Now, because they went second, they do get to attack the first turn, this is one of the only stadium tutoring effects in the game, so they will get to tutor up a stadium to play next turn. So our path to the peak is going to be here for a very short amount of time. Opponent is scared of the climb. You got it, Simon. What's up, Simon? And I will not forget to pull this one this time. Courtesy of Simon, if anybody wants to participate in the giveaway, exclamation point ticket. I'm assuming... Oh, okay, so they're playing Lake Cutie. Now, Lake Cutie actually helps us, too. So I'm really glad that wasn't a skate park. Okay. So let's play this here. We are off the Blastoise plan. Y'all, if you squint, we're just a Palkia deck right now. And we're going to keep it that way. All right, so Palkia V-Star. Okay, one of our Palkia V-Stars is in the prize cards. Let's check real quick to see here. One of our Escape Ropes is in there. One of our Sandaconda VMAXs. And an Arven. I think that's it. A couple of energies might be in there. But anyways, let's see here. And a Nest Ball. Sandaconda VMAX is probably not good enough here. But we don't really want to do Squirtle Blastoise things here. Actually, if we got to the point of being able to do it, Squirtle Blastoise isn't terrible. Because it can do enough damage to knock out a Chine Pow, which that's the... Obviously, 280 is the big number we want to be able to hit, but we'll take this for now. And this is beneficial because we're doing half of 280 just off the get-go. So that's good for us. Good for us. Okay, now worst thing we could see here is an Irida, because that would be a Baxcalibur. This, again, this actually helps us a lot now. And if they play... Okay, they just had the Baxcalibur organically. That's fine. If they play out another basic Pokemon and their Palkia, we're like, sitting pretty here. And if they don't evolve this, they can't attack with it. Unless they have... I guess if they have 2 energies because of the Baxcalibur in hand, or on deck, they could, in theory, get up to 200 damage, but they just played Lake Acuity, so it would actually be less than that. Okay, so they're going to retreat and pull Chine-Pow up to the front. And they're going to use... This is why I do not like Lake Acuity in the Chine-Pow deck, personally, because Chine-Pow specifically gets rid of all of its energy, and then Lake Acuity doesn't do anything for them anymore, whereas it's going to sit there and help us out just fine. So I think opponents might want to reassess that. Again, maybe it's like a favorite card of theirs, maybe it just came in clutch and they haven't forgotten that yet. You know, Gondor remembers or whatever it was. Don't hate me. I've seen all of this. I've seen all of those movies. I know those movies. Okay, so they do have 3. Right? That's what they've got. They've got 3 in hand. If they have 4, 4 is still not enough to do it. 4, they could do at most 240 damage. They can actually do at most 220. And if they do all of this to do 220 damage, we're pretty happy here. I feel like we're ahead right now. Right? I feel like we're ahead right now. Okay, so they are going to burn all of these energies, too, to do this. We need to try and knock this thing out. If we can knock this thing out, they lose. That being said, I don't know if we're going to be able to get enough basics. I don't think I have any way to do that. Nest Ball's kind of it. I mean, at least we can grab the EXP share, right? Let's get a Sandaconda here. So they are going to get another chance to do it. They're going to get to knock out our Palkia, which is sad. Opponent, why don't you put something else out, please? We haven't played our energy yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the Squirtle out front, then we're just going to retreat it. Ooh, and they're choosing to give us this. Okay. Okay, so we just kind of got him a little bit. Hashtag got him. Because our other Palkia VSTAR is in the prize cards and we're not guaranteed to hit that, I'm actually going to go ahead and use Star Portal here to get our other Palkia going. Because if we could do this Palkia, our Palkia, to get a Path to the Peak, they would be very unhappy. And we get to take this out. So we do get 2 looks here. EXP share says that if your front, or hang on, let me let you read the card. 1 second. Okay, so we didn't get the Palkia V-Star. I'm really glad we didn't overinvest for that. EXP share says, when your active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, that's a lot of little, it has to be specific, you may move a basic energy from that to this Pokemon. So it's a way to not lose your energy investment. Now, they do have to, again, use both of their energies to do this, though. Because of this Lake Acuity here protects our Palkia. We're currently only taking 40 damage. So when they do this, we, yeah, they have to use both because, anyways, okay, so we have a very difficult question here, which is how much do we feel confident in our coin flip? And our card draw, because if we draw an energy, we can do great things. If we don't, we're in trouble. Let's put Squirtle out here and just kind of assume we're not going to draw the energy. If we do, we'll be fine anyways. Okay, I'm really glad we did that. We're going to force their Chine-Pow to the back, and one of these 2 things that has a 2 retreat cost over the front. How did you over 100 damage for a 60? So it wasn't a 60 damage attack. What that was, and we're going to do this so we can get our Path to the Peak going here. That was, so Chine-Pow's attack says 60 damage per. So they discarded 2 energies, so it says you may discard any amount of water energy, and it does 60 for each card you discarded. So it's 60x. So they did 2, but the thing is it did reduce damage. Are you saying, how did I do 100 damage? The 60 damage attack? Maybe? I might be misunderstanding. And Tatas brings up a good point. It does have to be basic energy. Second Chine Pow is a little scary, but without a switch, okay, they also had an escape rope. Brutal. Let's go ahead and put the Squirtle out here. They will still have to discard both energies to knock this Squirtle out. That's kind of what we're holding on to here. And they are running out of energies, and we're going to be playing a Path to the Peak here. So they can't continue to search for energies. So that's kind of what we're hoping for. Honestly, the smartest thing for them to do would be to not knock out the Squirtle. But that doesn't really win them the game, so I'm not sure what they're going to do here. And if they... Okay, well, that's actually the smartest thing for them to do. But if they pull the Palkia to the front, again, they can't do 240 damage. Or they can't do 220 damage. And this is their Lake Acuity helping us out here. And they're about to be out of cards in hand again. So they have been treading water here, and when we get the Path to the Peak down, they can't use Shine Pow to keep pulling energy. Okay. Energy, 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 energy. Dang it, deck, that's not what I wanted. Okay, well, we're gonna play this out, because that stops them from doing most of their crap. And let's go ahead and use this in case they draw another stadium. Where we want to... One, we're thinning our deck, and two, this way we have an answer if they draw another one. Plus, it's a turn, right? Like, use your cards. Okay, that's not scary when they have no cards in hand. And Path to the Peak also stops it, so... Is it my turn? Yay, it's my turn to win! Alright, let's pull that giveaway here. Zubats, congratulations, my friend! Let's get you that code. 1 second here. Let's scroll back down. Bam. Best of luck with your pull, my friend. I did read them like a book. When you start to play against certain decks a lot, you'll get a lot better at understanding what they're looking to do, and it gets easier to interact with that, right? It's just because I played against Chine Pow a lot. That's literally it. Alright, so I'm going to start the giveaway for the last game with this deck. Hang on 1 second. And then we will do one more with Blastoconda V2, and then move on to Chess Naughty. Exclamation point ticket if you want a chance to win. And ultimately, it's a card game, right? A lot of this comes down to percentage chances, trying things. Like, there's a chance their last card they drew was a Professor's Research, and they were just going to play it, slam it down, draw 7 cards, and we were going to get buried. Like, that could have happened. It didn't, though, right? We played to that as an out. Come on, Charmander. All right, Charmander. They did lose easy... that would be a good one. They did lose some easy KOs because of the stadium. You're not wrong. Their stadium messed them up there. Now, that stadium would not be a problem against anything that wasn't Shine Power or like water or ground, right? Then it would just be a possible benefit, no downside, but that's the price you pay. What's up, Big Ben? I like your name, the Big Ben Theory. That's a good one. I assume you're a very large person named Ben, and if you're not, then it's theoretical. Sorry. Okay, this tells me this is Charizard. Maybe not, but if it is, we have a Path to the Peak. Okay, we're gonna grab a Squirtle with Ditto just because we don't have a way to get a Squirtle other than that. Let's play everything out here. So Pidgeot is resistant to ground, but Bidoof is weak to ground. So it kind of 6 one way, half a dozen the other as to how we want to handle this. I think Sandaconda is going to be our best bet in this matchup, so we're going to put that one there. Okay, that was really good. Now, they are going second, so they have a chance to play a supporter on their first turn, but if they play a Judge or an Iono, we played out all of our stuff. Am I right about the Charizard? Judges? Show me Charmander. Please don't actually show me a Charmander. I would love to not see it. I hate that I think I'm right. Wigglytuff! Hey, I was right. Charmander and Pidgey. So, luckily they didn't grab an Arceus, which is kind of wild. Maybe they're not the... Oh, they're about to grab more Arceus. So, starting with 2 VIP passes is pretty rough for us. This is not a great start. They're not playing with Arceus. That is an interesting idea from the opponent. I don't know if it's good or bad. We're going to go with interesting. And Path to the Peak right now stops Pidgeot, and it stops Charizard. So even if they were to evolve this, which they didn't even have an energy to play, so it's unlikely. Oh my good gravy. Game? I'm aware that's what I drew. Thank you. Okay, so the question becomes, what's our play here? I think our play here is actually to retreat this and get the Sandaconda out front first. And then Professor's Research. Having the energies in the bin is fine, and if we draw the Sandaconda VMAX, that's enough. So we did. So the Bidoof is dead, and everything's gonna soak a hit here. That was a really, really good draw off the top of our deck. Like, dang. And they still have to interact with this Path to the Peak. Now, they're probably going to put Cleffa out front here, I would assume, which is fine. They're going to use this to draw cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to Boss's Order something else to the front here, probably the Charmander, because then the Cleffa dies to the Sand Pulse's alternate text here. Okay. Even if they have a Charizard or a Pidgeot here, it doesn't really matter because Path to the Peak. If they can also interact with that, we're in trouble. If they can't, we're fine. Okay, they went with Pidgeot, so I'm assuming we're going to see a Rare Candy out of their hand. Okay, so they're going to get the Pidgeot, and then that's it. They're probably just going to draw 6 cards. Which is terrifying, don't get me wrong. Yikes, what a last card. Never mind. All right, opponent's popping off here. Let's see if they can do it. Please don't interact with my stadium. Asking as a friend here. And see, this deck is, like, their deck list is fine, but I hate to say it, it's, like, actually worse because there's no Arceus. Like, Arceus makes their deck a lot more consistent than Cleffa does. It's just, you know, kind of how it is. Did they also draw a Charizard and a Rare Candy? Because that would be crazy. Okay, Bibarel. Okay. So now, we're actually going to pull the Bibarel to the front, as of right now, if nothing changes, because that's their way into this game. Path to the Peak doesn't stop Bibarel. It stops everything else they've done. Okay. Okay. So, let's do that. First, having a second one is really good. That is a good backup to have here. Now the question for us, we're going to be Boss's Ordering here. Let's get that one up here, which means there's no question. Let's just go ahead and do this. So we get to take out Bibarel and Cleffa, draw some extra prize cards. If they don't have a way, like this Pidgeot's going to hurt, but it's actually not going to knock us out here, and we're going to sweep their bench if they don't take care of this. They're drawing for 200 years, you're not wrong. They are drawing a lot of cards. Blastoise and Rare Candy in hand is excellent. Now we don't have to use Irida for that. Eight cards in hand, and they still haven't interacted with this. I would assume they're going to, and that this game is going to slip out of our hands really quick here. Okay. Okay, that's unfortunate, but it's fine. We just, like, we have everything we need right now as long as they don't evolve these. That's a really good draw, and so is this other energy, so, okay. Please don't evolve one of those. No rare candies. No rare candies. Come on, no rare candies. Come on. Oh, no! Weak! Okay, so they do get to interact with our path here, and we don't have another one in hand anymore. Danger Zone. Probably gonna get... oh, God, they just had it. Or what an Iono for them. And that's just how it goes sometimes. So we have probably lost now. That's typically how this Charizard is. This is why this Charizard is so good, y'all. Yay! I'm glad you're free, darling. Drive safe. This card is so good because the closer you get to beating them without actually beating them, the stronger the Charizard is. It is really hard to beat. Not impossible, just this is going to be a tough one, y'all. This is going to be a slog. They already played a supporter, so the quick search is scary, but I doubt it's going to be anything too bad here. The fact is they have both of these online, so like I said, anything that happens after this, we are no longer favored to win this game. So if we do manage to win, that's fantastic, but I would not expect it. Let's try our best here and just kind of accept that we're probably going to get Charizarded. And because this Charizard is Dark type, we don't even have the advantage of using Palkia against it. They don't have... Oh, I'm sorry they didn't have the drumsticks. Okay, 150 is a lot, but we're fine. That's such a good draw. That's such a good draw for us. Oh my god. All right. We're actually not going to use our big move here. We're going to use Sand Pulse so we can kill this Pidgey. Because that gets him down to a very, very manageable level. Let's grab another Squirtle in case we need to feed him a prize card. This is now fine because it stops Quick Search. That's about all it's going to stop, but again, we're about to be doing something to hopefully handle this Pidgey. And they're down to 2 cards, so that's not nothing here. Okay, as anticipated. So they are now, we only need to knock out one of these 2 things now. Makes this a lot easier for us. Especially with 2 bosses' orders in hands. I imagine they're probably going to switch the Pidgeot to the back and use Charizard here. That's what I would foresee. Oh, you were going to grow? I'm sorry, babe. That's all we... Also, y'all, just so you're aware, I am not just calling Chips babe because I can. She is my fiance. Okay, so called that. Here comes the Charizard. This is going to be enough to knock out our Sandaconda, which is sad. And we're going to have to try and do something to this Pidgeot in the meantime. So it's currently got 210 health, and we are doing 60... 80, 120, 40, 60, 80. We're doing 180 right now, which isn't quite enough. Shoo. And this is doing what? 180 plus 4, 120. So it's doing 300 damage. Seems fair. This free retreat cost is going to hurt a lot here. See what we hit. Do we hit in a right? Okay, nothing. Well, nothing's pretty rough here. All right, let's... we can't use Subspace Swell here, because I messed up. Let's just feed him that. This Bat to the Peak is causing a problem now. And I guess we start to get a Sandaconda ready here. I guess. Kind of a rough situation here. Can't the rest of us mods also be babe? I mean, a babe's a babe, right? And you're all babes. It's just I'm not going to call you that because you're not my babe. You know what I mean? But a babe's a babe, y'all. All right. For those of y'all just joining us, this is our last game with this deck. We have another deck next, but that means if you want a chance to win a pack, exclamation point ticket in chat to be entered. We always do that at the end of end of each deck we play. I'm not superstitious, very much so, but you know, if we win, if the deck performs good, I bet that's a good pack, you know? That's just kind of... Can you be Babe Ruth? Yes. It is about to be Halloween, you can be whoever you want to be. Okay, and they kind of fell for it. Okay. They got rid of our path to the peak for us, which sucks, but now we get to do this. Oh, right, it has to go on water Pokemon. We do still get to keep building up this Sandaconda here. I think we win. No, we don't, because it's only 2 more prize cards. Yeah, we're not on board because of this Charizard. It's such a good card. It's so good. Yeah. We tried, y'all. We were very close. If they didn't knock us out this turn, we were going to Boss's Orders the Pidgeot to the front and use the Sandaconda V to kill it. So we were 1 prize card too short, which is a shame. Which is because of the Sandaconda VMAX that we were using earlier. So that did come at a cost. The game. Good game, opponent. Good game. All right, let's pull that giveaway, do the wrap-up. Let's do the wrap-up, pull the giveaway, and move on to the next deck. So wrap-up here for the YouTube. This felt better. I don't regret pulling the VIP passes out of here. This did feel stronger as far as our deck goes. It's much more agile to just use Blastoise just for itself. Last time we played this, we had Kingdras in here, and Kingdra was fine. Kingdra doesn't really hang anymore with the big dogs, though. It's just shuffling their hand and giving them 4 cards isn't good enough anymore, especially against Pidgeot and things like that have all the card search they could ever want. Kingdra was fun, though, and it helped us occasionally, but I think this build is probably better. Still needs a little tweaking. It's not quite done yet, but yeah, I liked it.